I am so nervous about making this video. This is not my usual style at all, but it was a request. Hi, I'm Venus O'Hara. I make content about holistic self-love. I'm doing Vlogmas, daily uploads, and I asked my followers to make suggestions for new videos, and someone asked me to share my reflections on a documentary featuring Lily Phillips, and she is an OnlyFans star who slept with 100 guys in a day. When I first heard about it, I thought, oh, is that Bonnie Blue? Bonnie Blue is another OnlyFans star, and from what I can see, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, they both want to get in the Guinness Book of Records of sleeping with the most amount of guys in a day or something like that. So, and I'm fascinated by this topic. I've just seen some similarities between them, and it makes me kind of sad, but this video is not about vilifying anyone, it's not about judging anyone. I just want to offer my perspective on this phenomenon and on these particular OnlyFans stars. Yeah, so I think I have watched a few short videos of Bonnie Blue speaking, and her particular business model is targeting, let's say, university students and filming them and then putting them on her OnlyFans. And I think I've seen pictures of these guys like lining up, just waiting for their go. It's just crazy. And I think these girls are getting a lot of judgment, but we have to imagine it's not just them, it's everyone who's enabling this to happen. It makes me very, very sad. And I watched another interview about it today, and someone said, imagine if that's the best option you have in life. But again, it's not about judging, because sexuality is a very personal expression and everyone has a different way of expressing their sexuality. But I wonder if this is really about a sexual fantasy, or is it a calling for attention? The sad thing about erotic content is that it's not really about getting naked and having sex. It is often about how degrading, or what's the most crazy thing that someone can do, because we're all there thinking, oh, that's awful, but let me watch. And that's exactly why that in my opinion is the appeal of these girls. They're doing things that are very extreme. For example, to sleep with 1,000 guys in a day, why would anyone want to do that? Obviously it's going to make money, but what price are we going to pay for money? I think money, can give you freedom in life, but they are making so much money right now that they are at a stage in their lives where they actually could do something else. I think they could actually write a book and get a really big book deal. They can invest, they can do other things. But I think it's that the attention. It's just I think. But on the other hand of that, on the other side of that, there's also the criticism as well, because a lot of people are criticizing what they're doing. That can't be easy to live with that stigma. And also something that I've noticed that's similar in both of them is how they speak about themselves. There's a lot of like degrading language, and I find that very sad, personally. Or even thinking about is your future intimate life doomed because you've done all this stuff now? But let's not forget that they're not criminals or anything like that. Many people have done worse things than what they have done, but hopefully they will learn a lesson from it and do something else. But I think it's a sad world that we live in now, that sexual content and erotic content is not about titillating pleasure. It's about who can go who can do the most extreme thing. And even Bonnie Blue said in one of her interviews something like, just making a sex video is just not going to do it. You have to have something else that's going to sell it. And that's really true, actually. It's sad but true. And what I've seen from both of them as well is that they are quite good businesswomen. They're obviously using their business mind, even though it might not be the healthiest way, but they still have that kind of way of thinking of how to make money out of something. But of course, I am not a fan of that type of erotic content. I've been quite vocal about how I don't consume porn, I don't support porn. I think porn kills your imagination, and I think it's just gives you a very warped idea about sexuality. And I don't know if some of it can be healthy, some kind of erotica can be healthy, but in general it's just this tendency to go more and more and more extreme, which I find quite worrying. For example, porn started out it was just people getting naked on camera and having sex, but then it's just become something way more extreme, and I think it attracts a lot of dark energy. Yeah, so those are and so let's see if I've said everything I wanted to say here. And so some people have actually criticised why these girls have their family support. Well, I think it's good to support your family no matter what they're doing, because I mean, to kind of disown your family member because you don't agree with what they're doing could be even more dangerous. So I think most people do want their children to be happy, but I think it's, I don't know, someone I don't know what to say about this. If it was my friend, I would be very uneasy about being with someone like that who thought that was what they had to do to make ends meet. I think if I was in their situation right now, if I was a friend of theirs, I would give them the advice, which would be, quit while you're ahead. You've made all this money, you've got all this content. Now you've got the fame, you've got the interviews on mainstream media, which is crazy. This is not just some kind of niche that's on, a website behind a paywall. It's actually on mainstream media now, and many podcasts as well. But I think now is the time, potentially they don't really need to carry on doing what they're doing. It's just a choice now. So yeah, it's something that does fill me with sadness. And at the end of this documentary that I saw with Lily Phillips yesterday, it was documenting how she's preparing for this day where she's going to be with 100 guys in a day. And at the end of it, she was crying. And I just can't imagine what that would feel like to be with all these guys who are just like in, out, shake it all about, quite literally. And none of them, you don't even know who they are, I think sexuality and sex and intimacy is the most beautiful thing you can experience when it transcends the physical. When you can look into someone's eyes and every movement, you're feeling the earth move. I mean, this is why I chose the path of sexuality. I want to share my vision of sexual beauty, of how you can experience something that's incredibly beautiful, transcendental, something that can fill your soul, and something that can not make you cry at the end of sadness, but something that can make you cry with joy, So I think it's unfortunate that the tendency of erotic content is going down this path, and I think everyone who is enabling it, even me making this video, we're all kind of fascinated, and I think all of these things are getting views, because people are kind of like thinking, did someone really do that? Oh my god. I don't think it's about arousal at the end of the day. I think people want to see extreme stuff, and I just find that very sad. Yeah, so more love needs to be had or shared in the world, more good intentions, and so I hope this video doesn't come across as judgmental anyway, because I just don't think it's about judging. What's made me sad about some of the videos I've seen about this topic, about these two particular girls, is the way they've been judged by some people, and some of those people are still kind of watching it or making misogynistic comments, etc. And that just I don't think that's helpful, really. I think everyone needs maybe a bit more compassion, and just to see why is this the best option for someone? What kind of society do we live in that OnlyFans has actually been growing since the pandemic? And I think for someone who has made the decision to be in the adult entertainment industry, before OnlyFans they were working with production companies, and some people still do, and they're still kind of signing away their image rights for someone to exploit and make money from. But now those people who've made that decision, they really want to do it, now they have more control over their content. It has to be a good thing. But the danger is when girls will start to say, oh yeah, this is a good way to make money. I think there's a very short shelf life. Not always. If there are some creators who are much older who are doing very well on OnlyFans, it's not always about youth and beauty. But I think when you make these decisions, you have to think about how is it going to affect your life. And when you're very young, you don't really think about that. How is it going to affect your life in the future? But I mean, I think it'd be a good idea just to use that money wisely and set yourself up in ways where to a point where you don't actually have to do that anymore, and you can sit back. But that can also be inspiring people to take that path, and that can be I just think people should do things with the right intentions, and that's how it's going to bring you happiness at the end of the day, not just for attention, for money, or trying to get in the Guinness Book of Records. So those are my thoughts, and just want to send love and light to these people. And I don't want that to be patronising anyway, but I think there needs to be more of that in the world in general. That's my video for today. Thank you for watching. If you have any more topics you'd like me to speak about, let me know in the comments below. I'll be reading, responding, and I might get inspired. Thanks for watching. I'll be back tomorrow for some more Vlogmas. Mwah.